So a bit more of kind of working on this kind of a question. We are going to actually graph a certain situation and then sort of label the sections of the graph. So let's take a read of the question and let's see what we can get done on it. Our oven is turned on at room temperature of 20 degrees and it takes 10 minutes to reach a temperature of 190 degrees centigrade. A tray of cookies is placed in the oven to bake for 10 minutes. The oven is then turned off and it returns to room temperature after 15 minutes. Get your graph of temperature as a function of time and label each section of the graph and explain what it means. Okay, so first off, since our whole task is just to graph this, let's put down a graph. Now, for us in grade 10, especially with word problems, and if we're going into applied in grade 11, then we really only need to take a look at our positive x-axis and our positive y-axis, because we know that we're not going to go into the negatives of y and negative in terms of x, because our x represents time. And this is just proper labeling technique. This is going to be in minutes, and I've already represented it as x. And over here, I'm just going to put temperature. And this is being measured in, it looks like, degrees Celsius. And I have it as y there. Okay, after this, I have a blank kind of a canvas to use as, so I'd like to have my scale kind of go up by, some amount that is going to get everything on here. So I think having it up in, let's say, I think 20 degrees every notch could be okay, because I need to get up to 190. So let's go ahead and let's try that out, and let's see if I can fit them all on my page. Let's go with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'll start at 20 here. 40, 60, 80. This would be 100. So I'll label 100 right there. 20, 40, 60, 80, and then I'll have a 200 right there. Okay, so I've just kind of labeled that out. In terms of time, let's see what we have. I think going up, and it takes 10 minutes to reach the temperature of 190. Sure. Baking for 10 minutes, and that looks like we have quite a bit of time, 35 minutes. So let's go ahead and let's make it in notches of 5. So let's go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So this is 5, 10, 15, let's go with 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Okay, so let's do that, and let's play around with this and just see if everything's okay with it. Okay, so let's take a read, and let's just do the first sentence. An oven is turned on at room temperature of 20 degrees. That's important over here. And it's going to take 10 minutes for the temperature to reach 190. So we have a couple things going on. We have 120 degrees starting. It's taking 10 minutes to reach 190. So let's start with what our temperature is starting at, and that is room temperature. So we're actually starting with time being 0 at 20 degrees. T equals 0 at 20 degrees, okay? It's going to take 10 minutes for the temperature to go up to 190. So here is my time of 10, and that's 180. That's 200. So 190 would be basically right smack dab in the middle, and this is 190 degrees centigrade. And this is at, you know what? Let's reverse that. I don't like that order. I'm going to say 10 minutes to get to that. That makes a little bit more sense in my mind anyways. 10 mins to get to 190 degrees centigrade. Okay. So let's do that. Now, in terms of this, we just have to connect these two ones in kind of like a straight line. Now, it's going to be really hard for me to connect this in a straight line because I can't really use a ruler on the program that I'm doing, but you can. So I'm going to get you to connect these with a straight line. I'm going to try to do this as lightly as possible. Kind of straight. It is kind of hard for me to do this. So there's going to be a line for that, and we're going to talk about what this means a little later on. Let's go into the next one. A tray of cookies is placed in the oven to bake for 10 minutes. Okay, so now we have to ask ourselves, is the oven changing temperature when our cookies are baking? And no, it shouldn't be changing any temperature. So if we go for 10 minutes, and we're already at 10 minutes, we're going to go over here, and we're going to stay at the same temperature. And this is when the cookies are going to be baking. And I think I can connect those two together. Okay, so that was kind of like our next portion. We have baking for 10 minutes. Oven is then turned off and it returns to room temperature after 15 minutes. So at the 35-minute marking, we're back down to room temperature where we started at 20. Again, I'm going to try to make this as light as possible. I think this is going to reach, oh no. No. Going to have to do that one again. Use a ruler for this one. Just connect up your 2 points and use that ruler. Again, it's kind of hard for me to do it just because I don't have a ruler available to me when I'm using this program. So there we go. I'll try to keep it as straight as possible. All right, you're going to have to use your imagination. Let's say it's a straight line. And that's going to be our 15 minutes there. Okay. All right, after that, let's actually now label each section of the graph and explain what it means. So we have our entire graph down on the paper. We know that this function over here, or this little line right here, from room temperature up to 190 is the oven. And the oven is heating up. So the oven's heating up, and once it gets to this temperature, we know this is going to be the time where the cookies are baking. We would never put the cookies in while the oven is preheating or heating up. We would only put the cookies in when it's at our desired temperature. Cookies are out at this point, and now our oven is off. And cooling down. Oh, let's spell cooling right, hey? Cooling down. That's it. Okay. So we've sketched out this graph. We're trying to use straight lines all the way through. Again, unfortunately, I just can't use those straight lines when I'm on the program. But you would certainly be using a ruler when you're doing this. We've labeled out our axes going up in increments of 20. We've labeled our axes going across in increments of 5. And we said that this is representing time with minutes, temperature, and degrees centigrade. So all of these things make up a good graph, and we've labeled out each section as well.